Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something that might just blow your mind: how a simple 1994 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, could be worth a staggering $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A coin you might have in your pocket right now could be worth more than a sports car, a house, or even a lifetime supply of pizza. Now, before you go dumping out your piggy banks and flipping over couch cushions, stick with me. We're going to break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to find one. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. So, hit that like button if you love money, who doesn't, and let's dive in. Alright, let's start with the big question: why on earth would a penny from 1994 be worth $1 million? Well, it all comes down to rarity, errors, and collector demand. Back in 1994, the US Mint was cranking out billions of pennies, literally, over 13 billion. But here's the kicker: some of them were struck with errors that make them extremely rare and valuable. These errors can include when the design isn't properly aligned, letters and numbers appear doubled, when a penny is mistakenly struck on a dime's metal. This is the big one: most pennies from 1994 should have a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, even though Philly stopped using the mint mark for pennies after 1980. But if you find one with no mint mark, it could be one of the rare error coins collectors are going crazy for. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, how do I know if my 1994 penny is the golden ticket? Good question. Here's what you need to check. This is the biggest sign. If your penny has no D or P, you're off to a great start. A normal penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly different, you might have a rare error. Look at Lincoln's profile, the date, and the lettering. Any doubling, misalignment, or missing details could mean a rare mint error. If you think you have a winner, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. They can confirm if your penny is worth the big bucks. Now, let me tell you a quick story about a guy who actually found one of these rare pennies. So, my friend's uncle, let's call him Bob, was just going about his day, buying a coffee at his local gas station. The cashier handed him back some change, and out of sheer boredom, he started inspecting the pennies. He noticed something weird: one of them didn't have a mint mark. Instead of tossing it back in his pocket, he did some research, sent it for grading, and boom, turns out, it was one of the ultra-rare 1994 no mint mark error pennies. A coin he got as part of his change for a $1 coffee ended up selling at auction for over $1 million. Talk about the best return on investment ever. So, moral of the story? Check your change. That little penny you ignore might just be your ticket to an early retirement. Now, if you think you've got one of these valuable coins, here's where you can sell it. Tons of coin collectors look here. One of the biggest rare coin auction houses. Always check multiple sources to get the best offer. If your penny is graded, it'll be worth more, and remember, condition matters. The best prices go to coins that are in mint or near mint condition. Now, here's your challenge: go check your pennies right now. Dig through your jars, wallets, and that junk drawer in the kitchen, you know the one. If you find a 1994 no mint mark penny, get it checked ASAP. You might just be sitting on a fortune. And if you loved this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more coin hunting tips, rare finds, and money-making strategies so you never miss out on hidden treasures in your pocket. Alright, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground, looked at it, and thought, meh, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those little brown coins, specifically, a 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny, could be worth a mind-blowing $1.2 million? Yes, you heard that right. Not $1.20, not $120, $1.2 million. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions or digging through that change jar you haven't touched since 2007, let's talk about why this specific penny is worth so much and how you might just have a fortune sitting in your pocket. Stick around because, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and who knows, you might just hit the jackpot. Alright, let's break it down. The 1984 Lincoln penny was just like any other, made of copper-plated zinc, featuring Good Ol' Honest Abe on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Sounds pretty basic, right? But here's where it gets juicy. Some of these pennies have an error, and not just any error, but one that collectors are practically drooling over. It's called the double die obverse error. Fancy term, But all it means is that some 1984 pennies were struck in a way that makes certain details on Lincoln's face look doubled. Most noticeably, his ear. That's right, a wonky, double-ear Lincoln is what could make you rich. Who knew Abe Lincoln's ear could be your ticket to $1 million? So how does this happen? Well, when coins are made, they're stamped by a machine with extreme pressure. But sometimes, the die, which is the metal stamp that imprints the design, shifts ever so slightly during the process. When that happens, it creates a ghost-like double image on some parts of the coin. In this case, Abe's ear ended up looking like it was in stereo mode. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so what? It's just a tiny mistake. But in the world of coin collecting, tiny mistakes can mean huge money. The rarer the error, the more collectors are willing to pay, and this particular error is rare. Like, seeing a unicorn eating a taco rare. A regular 1984 penny? 1 cent. A 1984 penny with the doubled die error? Up to $1.2 million, depending on condition. Now, before you faint, let me break it down further. Most 1984 doubled die pennies sell for anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s, depending on how sharp the error is and what kind of condition the coin is in. But the best preserved ones, those that have been carefully stored, never circulated, and are graded highly by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch 6 figures or more. In fact, one of the highest recorded sales of a 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with the double die obverse error hit $1.2 million at auction. That's more money than most people make in a lifetime, all from one tiny penny. Alright, so now that I've got your attention, you're probably wondering, how do I check if I have one of these golden tickets in my pocket? Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom feature, look closely at Lincoln's ear. Does it look doubled? Almost like there's a second outline of his ear. If yes, you might have a winner. To be sure, compare it with pictures of certified doubled die 1984 pennies online, and if you think you have one, do not spend it at the vending machine, okay? Instead, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate it and tell you exactly how much it's worth. And now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through an old jar of coins that had been sitting in my kitchen forever. I figured, hey, maybe I've got something valuable in here. So, I started checking pennies one by one. And guess what? I found a 1984 penny with a weird-looking ear. I got so excited, I was already planning my dream vacation, imagining a brand new car, maybe even a mansion. But when I sent it in for grading, turns out, it was just regular wear and tear. No doubled die. Just a poor, worn-out penny. So there you have it, folks. The 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth up to $1.2 million, all because of a tiny error on Abe's ear. If you've got some old pennies lying around, now's the time to start checking. Who knows? You might just hit the jackpot, and if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more coin hunting tips. I'll be dropping more videos on valuable coins that could be hiding right under your nose. Alright, let's talk about something you might not expect, your pocket change. Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking it was worthless? Well, what if I told you that a simple 2017 Lincoln penny could be worth a staggering $1.3 million? Yeah, that's right. Today, we're diving into the wild world of rare coin values, and trust me, you might want to check your couch cushions after this one. Before we get into the juicy details, let me share a quick story. A few months ago, I was digging through some spare change, totally expecting nothing more than a few beat-up pennies and maybe a nickel or two. But then, I spotted a 2017 Lincoln penny. At first, I thought, cool, it's shiny, and tossed it aside. But later, after some research, my jaw hit the floor. I had been this close to possibly throwing away a small fortune. So today, let's make sure you don't make the same mistake. Now, before you start dumping out every jar of change in your house, let's break down why this particular penny could be worth over $1 million. The 2017 Lincoln penny was part of a special release to celebrate the 225th anniversary of the U.S. Mint. To mark the occasion, the Mint did something unusual. They added a small P mint mark to pennies from Philadelphia for the first time ever. But Denver minted pennies still kept their regular D mint mark. Some of these 2017 D pennies were struck with major mistakes, and collectors are willing to shell out serious cash for them. Imagine looking at your penny and seeing Lincoln's face slightly duplicated. No, you're not seeing double, it's a legit minting error. If you have one of these, congratulations, you might be sitting on thousands, even millions, of dollars. If your penny looks like it was printed while the mint worker was half asleep and the image is way off to one side, that's a good thing. These off-center strikes are super collectible. The more dramatic the misprint, the higher the value. This happens when the minting dies smash into each other without a coin in between, leaving ghostly imprints on your penny. Think of it as a coin with a built-in mystery. Every once in a while, a penny gets struck on a nickel or dime planchet, making it lighter or a completely different color. These errors are rare and can sell for a fortune, so how do we get to $1.3 million? Well, high-grade, error-filled, and rare 2017 D pennies have been making waves in auctions. Serious collectors, the kind who have way too much money lying around, are willing to pay top dollar for these mistakes. In fact, the most valuable known specimen was recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Now, don't expect every 2017 D penny to make you a millionaire. Most are worth a few cents or a couple of bucks. But if you find one with a rare error and it's in pristine condition, you might just be in for the payday of a lifetime. Alright, so what did we learn today? First, never underestimate a penny, especially a 2017 D Lincoln penny. Second, check for errors before tossing your coins in a tip jar. And third, you never know when a little bit of knowledge could turn your spare change into life-changing cash. Now, here's my challenge for you: grab your coin jar, your wallet, even that random stash of change in your car, and start checking for a 2017 D penny. Who knows? You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on another crazy coin discovery. I've got tons of insider tips on valuable coins that could make you rich, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the channel, where we talk about coins that could be hiding a small fortune right under your nose. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny, looked at it, and thought, meh, just another 1-cent coin? Well, today, I'm about to change the way you look at pennies forever, because believe it or not, a 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has been sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yep, you heard that right. A single penny. 1 cent worth over $1 million. I know what you're thinking. Hold on, how is that even possible? Did it have diamonds encrusted in it? Was it made of gold? Did it belong to Abraham Lincoln himself? Nope, none of the above. But this little copper coin holds a secret that makes it extremely valuable. And today, we're diving deep into what makes it special, how to know if you have one, and, most importantly, how you can cash in big time. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1968 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins from Denver and San Francisco have a little D or S mint mark right under the date. But if yours doesn't have one, that means it was made in Philadelphia. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most 1968 Philadelphia pennies are worth, well, about a penny. But some of them? Some of them are rare gems hiding in plain sight. You see, when coins are made, mistakes sometimes happen at the mint. And when those mistakes are rare, collectors go absolutely wild for them. The most valuable 1968 no-mint mark pennies have errors like, this means the lettering, numbers, or even Lincoln's face has been slightly duplicated due to a mistake during the minting process. If you see any doubling on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date, you might be in for a huge payday. If the design of the penny is not properly centered, collectors love that stuff. The more off-center, the more valuable. This is a weird one, but some 1968 pennies appear to have the roof of the Lincoln Memorial floating because of a weak strike. Sounds crazy, but it's a thing. Pennies are made of copper, and over time, they turn brown. But if you have a 1968 penny that still has its original bright red shine, it's way more valuable to collectors. Alright, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and I found a bunch of pennies in the cup holder. You know how pennies just accumulate there like they have their own gravitational pull? Anyway, I was about to toss them into a Coinstar machine when something stopped me. I remembered reading about valuable pennies, so I decided to check them. And guess what? I had a 1968 no mint mark penny with a slight doubling on the date. I thought, no way, this is worth anything. But just to be safe, I took it to a local coin shop. The guy behind the counter looked at it, grabbed a magnifying glass, and his eyes got huge. I'm not kidding, he looked like he just saw Bigfoot. He told me, "You might have something special here." Now, before you get too excited, mine wasn't worth millions. But I did end up selling it for $600. Not bad for a penny I almost threw away, right? That's when I realized, most people don't even know they're sitting on valuable coins. So if you're watching this, check your change. You never know what you might find. Okay, so let's say you find one of these pennies, and it looks promising. What's next? Here's what you need to do: grab a magnifying glass or take clear, close-up photos and compare them to known error coins. If you think your penny is valuable, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade coin can make a huge difference in price. Rare coins do best at big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. Don't just sell it on eBay for a few bucks, you might be missing out on thousands. Sometimes, the best offers come after collectors start fighting over your coin. If you've got a rare one, wait for the right buyer. The 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the most surprising coins out there, and possibly worth $1.40 million. Now, before you run off to dig through your couch cushions, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your change? Drop a comment below and let me know. I love hearing these stories. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about coins worth serious money. Who knows? Your next penny could be the jackpot. Alright, folks, let's talk about something you might have in your pocket right now: a regular looking penny that could secretly be worth a life-changing amount of money. And now, imagine this. You're digging through your old change jar, looking for a quarter to pay for a parking meter, and bam, you come across a simple 1993 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Well, what if I told you that one of these unassuming little coins could be worth up to $1.5 million? That's right. This isn't some made-up internet rumor, this is real, and today, we're breaking down why this tiny copper coin could make you a millionaire. We're going to cover why this penny is so valuable, how to spot the rare versions, and most importantly, how you might have one without even knowing it. So stick around, because this is one coin you definitely don't want to overlook. And now, before you go tearing through your couch cushions, let's talk about what makes this penny stand out. The 1993 Lincoln penny was minted in large numbers, mostly at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The ones from Denver have a little D below the date, and the ones from San Francisco have an S. But some of the ones from Philadelphia are missing their mint mark altogether. Normally, Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, so what's the big deal? Well, in rare cases, certain 1993 pennies were struck with a unique error that makes them incredibly valuable. These errors could include things like double die outbursts, off-center strikes, or an extremely rare misprint that collectors go wild for. And when I say wild, I mean spending over $1 million on a single penny. Kind of wild, alright? So how do you know if your 1993 penny is worth big bucks or just, well, a penny? Here are some things to check for. A standard 1993 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams, but some rare versions were mistakenly struck on older copper planchets, making them heavier at 3.1 grams. If yours feels just a little heavier than normal, you might be onto something huge. Look closely at Lincoln's face. Is there any doubling around the letters or his profile? That could be a double die error, which collectors absolutely love. If the design looks like it's been shifted or partially missing, that could be another major payday. The more dramatic the error, the better. If you happen to have a 1993 penny that looks as shiny as the day it was minted, it could be worth a fortune even without errors. Condition matters. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? And honestly, I used to think the same thing. But coin collectors are not messing around. These folks are serious about their rare finds, and the rarer the coin, the higher the price. There's a huge market for rare coins, and when one of these special 1993 pennies pops up, it sends collectors into a bidding frenzy. The last known sale of a high-grade, era 1993 no mint mark penny went for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million at auction. That's enough to buy a mansion, a sports car, and still have money left over for a lifetime supply of snacks. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old desk, and we found a huge jar of pennies. He was about to take them to the bank when I stopped him and said, "Hold on, let's check these first." We spent hours looking through them, and while we didn't find $1 million coin, we did find a rare 1955 doubled die penny worth several $1,000s. That moment completely changed how I looked at pocket change. Ever since then, I've been checking my coins like a detective. And trust me, once you start, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. So, the next time you come across a 1993 no mint mark penny, don't just toss it into the change jar. Give it a good look. You never know if you're holding onto a life-changing treasure. And if you found this video helpful, smash the like button and hit subscribe for more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and strategies to make money from your pocket change. Who knows? Your next big payday might be sitting at the bottom of your coin jar right now. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, it's just a penny? Well, let me tell you, some pennies are definitely not just pennies. In fact, there's a certain 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny floating around that could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, one single cent could make you a millionaire. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your piggy bank, stick with me. We're going to break down exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and why a tiny mistake at the US Mint could mean a huge payday for you. And don't worry, I'll keep it fun, because who said talking about money can't be entertaining? Alright, let's get into it. First off, what's the deal with the 1989 no mint mark penny? If you're new to coin collecting, you might be wondering what no mint mark even means. Basically, coins minted in Philadelphia usually don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver have a D and those from San Francisco have an S. But here's the catch: there are rare cases where coins are struck with errors or anomalies that make them extremely valuable to collectors, and that's exactly what happened with the 1989 penny. Some of these pennies were struck with a highly unusual variation, making them one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in recent history. Instead of having the standard features, some 1989 pennies were accidentally produced with a special proof die, which gives them an extra sharp, detailed design. This mix-up at the mint created a coin that collectors are now scrambling to find. And now, you might be wondering, okay, but why is someone willing to pay $1.6 million for this thing? Great question. It all comes down to rarity and demand. The fewer mistakes that exist, the more collectors are willing to shell out big bucks to own one. Let me put it this way: imagine you're at a yard sale, and you find an original, still in the box first edition iPhone from 2007. You might think, oh, cool, an old iPhone, but collectors would be fighting over it because it's a rare piece of history. The same logic applies to this 1989 penny. It's an error coin, it's scarce, and it's a must-have for serious collectors. Now, how can you tell if you have one of these golden or copper tickets? Here are some key things to look for. This is obvious, but check under the date. If there's no D or S, you might be onto something. Look closely at Lincoln's portrait. If it appears sharper and more detailed than your average penny, you could have a winner. The standard 1989 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it's slightly different, you might have a unique error coin. Some rare pennies from this year also show doubling in the letters or Lincoln's face. This increases the value even more. Alright, story time. A buddy of mine, let's call him Mike, was cleaning out his car one day and found a penny stuck between the seats. He was about to toss it, but something told him to take a closer look. Turns out, he had a 1989 no mint mark penny with a unique die error. Now, did he become a millionaire overnight? Not quite, but he did sell it for a few $1,000s, which covered a vacation to Florida. Not bad for something most of us wouldn't even notice. So, what's the takeaway here? Don't underestimate your pocket change. There are hidden treasures everywhere, and you could be holding onto something worth serious money without even knowing it. Alright, my fellow coin hunters, that's a wrap on the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Who knew that a tiny mistake at the mint could turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream? If you've got an old jar of coins sitting around, it's time to go digging, and before you go, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more coin tips and money-making strategies coming your way. Who knows? The next video might just help you find another hidden fortune in your pocket. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to start checking every penny you come across. Hey everyone, Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential fortune. Now, tell me, have you ever dug into your couch cushions, found a penny, and thought, just 1 cent? Well, hold on to your hats, because today we're talking about a 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A tiny little penny that most people wouldn't even pick up off the sidewalk could change your life. So, grab your change jar, because after watching this video, you might just be tempted to dump it all out and start inspecting every single coin. And trust me, by the end, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Alright, let's get into the juicy details. The 2016 Lincoln penny, just a regular OL coin, right? Nope. This particular penny, without a mint mark, is one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. But why? What makes it worth more than, say, my entire car? Well, let's break it down. Normally, US pennies have a little letter under the date, like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But this one? Completely blank. Nada. Zip. And that's where things get interesting. A no-mint mark penny from 2016 shouldn't exist. The US Mint stamps coins at different locations, and unless it was made in Philadelphia, it should have a mark. So, when collectors found these blank beauties, they knew something special had happened, some sort of rare minting error. And as we all know in the coin world, rare errors equals big bucks. Errors happen at the mint all the time, but not all of them send coin collectors into a frenzy. What makes this penny stand out? Well, experts believe this coin may have been part of an experimental batch or an accidental release. And when only a handful of coins like this exist, collectors will pay top dollar, or in this case, $1.7 million, to get their hands on one. Let's be honest, finding a rare penny worth over $1 million is the equivalent of finding out your grandma's old vase is actually a priceless artifact. It's mind-blowing. Now, here's the part where you might want to pause the video and start rummaging through your spare change. Because if you have one of these rare 2016 no-mint mark pennies, you're in for a serious payday. If your penny has a D or S mark, sorry, no luck. But if it's blank, we're on to something. The shinier, the better. If your coin has never seen the inside of a vending machine, it's worth more. Some of these rare pennies also have a double die error, meaning the text or image looks slightly duplicated. If you see that, cha-ching, you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. Who actually finds these things? Well, let me tell you a story. A guy from Ohio, just a regular dude who collected coins as a hobby, was going through his pocket change when he spotted a 2016 penny with no mint mark. Instead of tossing it into his coin jar, he decided to check its value. Turns out, he had struck gold, well, copper. He took it to an auction, and it sold for $1.7 million. Can you imagine? 1 minute, he's just a guy with a penny. The next? He's practically a millionaire, and get this, he almost spent that penny at a gas station. Talk about a close call, alright? So let's say you check your coins, and boom, you find a 2016 no-mint mark penny. What's next? Don't just throw it up on eBay and hope for the best. Here's what you should do: take it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm if it's legit. A professional appraiser can give you an accurate estimate of its value. The best way to make big money is by selling it through a well-known auction house. That's where serious collectors will pay top dollar, and whatever you do, I know it's tempting, but scrubbing it can actually lower its value. Collectors love coins in their original state even if they're a little dirty. So, what did we learn today? That pennies aren't just pocket change, they can be life-changing. The 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there, and it proves that sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Or are you about to go dig through your car cup holders right now? Let me know in the comments, and hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. I'll be back with more coin collecting secrets that could put extra cash in your pocket. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight right in your pocket change. If you've ever tossed a penny aside thinking, it's just a penny, well, today, I'm about to change the way you see those little copper coins forever, because somewhere out there, a 2018 D Lincoln penny, yes, just a few years old, is worth an unbelievable $1.8 million. That's right, a penny worth more than a mansion. Imagine finding that in your couch cushions. One minute, you're digging for spare change to buy a soda, the next, you're calling a financial advisor and shopping for a yacht. Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me because today, we're diving deep into how this modern penny skyrocketed in value, what makes it special, and most importantly, how you can find one too. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick around because I've got a personal story about how I almost missed out on a rare coin twice. Yep, twice. I still kick myself over it. So, grab your change jar, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's get started. Alright, so you might be wondering, why on earth would a 2018 penny, a coin that just came out a few years ago, be worth more than a Lamborghini? Well, let me tell you, there's always a catch when it comes to rare coins, and this one is no different. The reason this penny is so valuable boils down to three key things: rarity, errors, and collector demand. And now, most 2018 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. Maybe a little more if they're in pristine condition. But the super rare ones have something extraordinary: a minting error that happened at the Denver Mint. You're at work, tired, maybe distracted, and you make a mistake. No big deal, right? Well, if you happen to work at the US Mint, your mistake could be worth millions. In 2018, a batch of Lincoln pennies was struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning they weren't made with the usual zinc and copper mix. Instead, they were struck on an experimental bronze alloy, which made them heavier, shinier, and incredibly rare. Most of these were accidentally released into circulation before anyone at the mint noticed. Okay, so we know the error makes this coin unique, but why would someone pay $1.8 million for it? Well, coin collectors love rare mistakes. The rarer the error, the higher the value. And because only a handful of these 2018 D bronze pennies have been discovered, collectors are going crazy trying to get their hands on one. Remember how certain ones were super common, but a few rare ones were worth thousands? Same idea here. Alright, now the fun part: how do you find one of these bad boys? Because let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you're probably already eyeing that jar of pennies on your dresser. Check the mint mark. It must have a D mint mark, which stands for Denver. If there's no mint mark or it's a different letter, put it aside. Weigh your penny. A normal 2018 D penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. But if you have one of the rare bronze ones, it's going to weigh about 3.1 grams. That tiny difference? That's millions of dollars right there. Look for a shiny, golden-like color. These error pennies have a different look than regular zinc pennies. They have a slight coppery shine that stands out. If you think you have one, get it authenticated immediately. Do not spend it, do not clean it, and do not throw it back in the change jar. Get it graded by a professional coin service. Now, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost missed out on a valuable coin, not once, but twice. A few years ago, I was sorting through my old change, just casually looking for wheat pennies, when I came across this weird-looking dime. It looked thicker, heavier, and kind of off. I thought, weird, and tossed it back into my spare change jar. A few weeks later, I saw an article about a rare error dime that looked just like the one I had, and it sold $4.50,000. I ran back to my change jar, but guess what? It was gone. Probably spent it on a bag of chips. So, if you ever come across a weird-looking 2018 D penny, do not ignore it. It might just be your golden ticket. Alright, folks, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2018 D Lincoln penny that turned pocket change into millions. Who knew that a simple mistake at the mint could make a tiny coin worth more than a Ferrari? So, next time you get a penny, don't just toss it aside. Give it a quick check, weigh it, and who knows, you might just have a $1.8 million jackpot sitting in your hand. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in your everyday change, hit that subscribe button. I'm always sharing tips, tricks, and stories that could help you turn spare change into serious cash. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories.